myself. But anyways, yeah, we're talking about the Philippines, so let's get right into it. Philippine folklore. Well, I guess let's just get right into it here. Our first thing that we have to talk about today, this one's a doozy. It is called, and I know I'm not going to pronounce it correctly, so don't get mad at me, but I believe it's pronounced Tikbalang. A Tikbalang. Or Tikbalang. However you want to say it. Tikbalang. And, this thing looks kind of crazy. What it is, essentially, it's an elementer who possesses the body of a human and the head of a horse. So it has the body of a human and the head and hooves of a horse. And that's kind of weird. So it's like a Cyclops in reverse. It's from the Philippines. It's a mischievous little demonish creature. And it looks pretty crazy right now. I'll try to show you a picture of that. Here, guys, I'll show you a picture of that. That's what it looks like, guys. That's what Tikbalang looks like. Obviously, if you're not watching online, you can't see that, but I just showed a picture of the Tikbalang, so go over there. It sort of looks, for you guys who aren't watching online, it sort of looks like that's all I can say, like a really jacked horse standing on two legs. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. Alright, so what exactly is it? And what exactly makes it a monster? Let's get into that. So, it's an elemento. And they're a class of monster, folklore, cryptid. They're a classic cryptid. They are... It's something that draws from the environment. It draws from the energy in the air, the energy in nature. It draws from that. And so that would make sense why it's a horse. It would make sense. I mean, none of this really makes sense, but makes the most logical sense why it's a horse, because it's an elementer. So yeah, it's an elementer. It's classic cryptid. Definitely looks scary. Looks like a scary looking thing. And here's a little more about it. So it's, again, it's a Tikbalang. It says here, I'm looking at my notes. Yeah, okay, so pretty much what they do, what makes them a monster. Yeah. Sorry guys, where was I? I had to make a little quick hydration stop. Let's see here. So yes, no, I don't want this. What? No. No, thank you. It's a Tikbalang. Anyways, guys. So they trick travelers and tourists who tour places. They trick them, they lead them astray, they play tricks on them. You know, if you're walking on a path, then you're walking for like an hour, and you're like, oh, I'm walking in circles. You keep coming back to that same point in the path. That's a Tikbalang. That's what it's doing. It's playing some tricks on you. It's sort of messing with you. So, oh, and it can also shapeshift. It can also sort of do like a Wendigo. It can shapeshift into a humanoid creature. Like actually looks like humans, disguise itself. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so it's not really one of those things that you know, it's not like a skinwalker where they're out to eat you and stuff like that. It's more, see, I just got it felt like something just grabbed my leg, you know, when you get that feeling, but you know it's not real, but you like visualize it and feel it. Alright, that's kind of weird. But anyway, so it's not like, you know, gonna eat you or anything like that, but it's gonna play some tricks on you. It's not gonna be great. Day. If you run into one, plus they're pretty strong. They look pretty strong here. So, you know how that is. You know how that goes. I got a real bad smell all of a sudden in the house right now. That's weird. Got a bad smell. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, sorry, I was getting a little sidetracked. Alright. Oh, yeah, that's another thing about them. These creatures, they can, supposedly, here's the other part of the folklore, supposedly, if you're able to elude its tricks, and you're able to find where it is, you can actually capture it. And if you're able to capture it and catch it, somehow, I don't know, in a net, or a snare trap, or something like that, if you're able to catch it and you see it, and it sees that it's caught, it supposedly has the ability to grant you wishes. So supposedly you can be granted wishes, doesn't necessarily say how many wishes, but I imagine it's still like the genie thing, 3 wishes, can't wish for anyone to fall in love with you, or death, anyone to die, or anything like that. But you could wish for, power, money, all that stuff. I don't know what I would wish for. If I caught a Wendigo, if I caught a Tikbalang, I don't think I'd be wishing for anything, but other than just for it to stay there and prove its existence to live it. It's weird you guys see that. Anyways, so yeah, they're sort of like these creatures, and it's very interesting to think here, Alright guys, anyways, so, yeah, I don't know what I would wish for if I caught one. It was a hydration break. But I don't know, basically, they're mischievous creatures. They're not really going to kill you, but they definitely have the ability to. Maybe they can't. Maybe it's like within their natural laws, you know what I mean? Like, hey, don't kill humans. I don't know. But it also, in some cultures too, in the Philippines, some people believe that it's more so a demon than a cryptid. Like it's a demonic entity possessing like a dead horse, reshaping its body. It's kind of weird. Kind of a little freaky, but I believe that it's probably just a cryptid. So that's pretty cool. So that was segment 1. Philippine folklore, still following that here on this segment. So segment 2. These are pretty cool. Now these things, most of you probably have heard of or heard a version of these things. They're called El Duende. They're called Duendes. El Duende. The El Duende. So what they are basically, and I'm going to start doing this here, guys. I'm going to start adding the cryptids that we do to the back wall. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go check out my YouTube channel. Okay, we have a lot of fun. You get the same audio, but you don't get the same video. Okay? So we just went over the Tikbalang. That one probably not a lot of people know about. There was one. Have you just now joined us? What's your problem? No one starts in the middle of a podcast. Are you insane? Have you gone crazy? Are you a crazy man? Or woman? I don't know my demographic. Actually, my demographic is mainly woman. I found that weird. Now we're talking about the El Duende. Say it with me. El Duende. D-U-E-N-D-E. Duende. Just so you guys know. I don't know. Because that's how it is sometimes. You know how it is. But anyways, guys. So El Duende here. That's fun to say. Duende. El Duende. That's fun to say. But I don't know what to tell you. Get on my back. Come on. Okay, so yeah. So basically, what that is okay. So they're tiny. They're tiny little dwarven, elven. I would say they're more dwarven than elven. They're dwarven, mischievous, or helpful creatures. It depends on what the situation is and who you are as a person. That's what I like about this El Duende, this folklore, this cryptid. Depending on how you react to it and treat it, it reacts and treats you accordingly. So if you're like, oh, I don't like the El Duende, I hate the El Duende, supposedly what it will do is that there's two things it will do if you disrespect it. The first thing it will do is so it lives out in a cave, right? Out in the woods, in the forest. And the first thing it will do, and this applies only if you're a child for some reason. The first thing it will do, if you disrespect it, it is sort of mischievous. It will come to you in the night and kidnap you and lead you and drag you out to his cave in the middle of the woods, and just that. I don't know. Does it eat you? Does it just kill you? I don't know what it does, but it does something with you over there. So that's, you don't want to disrespect it for that reason. And then also there's a second reason. So if you if you disrespect it, what else will happen is it will come in your bedroom at night and will cut off your toenail, but it's so clumsy that it will often cut off your entire toe. So goodbye your toes, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 chances to disrespect it. After that, strike 8, and it comes to eat you. So I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so that's kind of weird, because that's what happens if you disrespect it. Now let me tell you what happens if you do respect it. If you do respect it, and there's a saying here, you might want to memorize this if you ever come face to face with an El Diento. Let's see, with each of the Quench legend self. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's another thing. Okay. There's a saying. Let me see if I can get this. Okay. In the meantime, while I'm looking this up, this should be a good time to lead into a mini little segment within the segment here. I've been noticing, guys, lately, no one's doing what I asked them to do. No one's putting some voice messages. No one's giving me any voice messages. So you guys realize I can't do a voice message special unless you guys actually send me voice messages, right? So if you want me to do a voice message special and have your voice message on the podcast, so do it however long it takes to get through the voice message. I don't know, it could be up here for 2 hours for all I know. But so far, no hours, because guys aren't sending a voice message. So send in a voice message and we'll be good. But there's a saying. So let me see, what is this? What is the saying here? I'm looking at it now. I had it in my notes earlier. But anyways, just go leave me a voice message. It's not that hard. It's in the little thing. You just got to sign up for an Anchor account. Let me explain that. You don't have to actually sign up for it. You sign up, you put your email in. Basically, that's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. You're not getting charged for anything like that or anything like that. But it lets me connect to you with a one-on-one and more sort of deeper level. Now, let me see here. What is the saying for El Duende? El Duende? No. What is the saying for Duende? How do you spell it? No. Let me see here. Duendes. Oh, have you guys seen Wikipedia is asking you to send them, like, they're asking you to send them money and stuff like that? That's ridiculous. Wikipedia, I could go on Wikipedia right now and make a Wikipedia page for myself and say I was the inventor of Bigfoot right now. Literally, I could go on there. I mean, it's ridiculous. Now he wants your money. Right here, let me see. Let me see. Isn't that the best? Where was this? I saw this somewhere. There was a saying. There was a saying. I swear there was. I don't know. But there's a saying out there. Let me know if you know what it is. There's a saying out there that if you say it, then it's supposed to be respectful to them. And if you're respectful to them, let me tell you what you get. You get this little treat right here. If you're respectful to them, and if you get lost and need help out in the woods, then they will guide you back to a safe place, and they'll guide you back to civilization. And I thought that was really cool, because it's like there's two sides to a coin here. If you're mean and disrespectful towards them, they will be mean and disrespectful towards you in the worst way possible. But if you're nice and kind and caring towards them and respectful towards them, then they will be nice and respectful and caring towards you in the nicest way possible. And I thought it was very interesting, because most folklore, it's either one or the other. It's either it's an evil monster or it's a good, like, fairy thing, you know? But it's not everything is all, you know, one category, you know? It's sort of, with El Duende, it sort of jumps around, you know what I mean? It in a way, it's interesting to think, here. It's like the golden rule. Really, it is, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting to think about. Yeah, that's all I got today. I already did my begging section. So basically, if you get me to 50 listeners, and I can put sponsors in here, then I'll be able to get better equipment, and even better equipment for the podcast too. So go check out the podcast. Send in some voice messages. That's all I got to say. Alright guys, this is the next segment here, segment 2 here. And this one, still following up Philippine. And outro. Philippine, you know, Philippine folklore, still following out here on this segment. So segment 2. What a day. One day up day. Okay. Save that one. Okay. Okay. Let's do it now.